This is my buddy Elliot's Matthews. This is the VXR31.5. He's actually listening to me. This is what I tell all my guys because it's happened to me. Put your release on your bow and you'll never go looking for your release. So I'm gonna take it off. I'm actually gonna put it in his case so I don't lose his release. So now what I like to do before I go take a guy's bow apart that'll save me a whole heck of a lot of time is I'll take a few measurements. And the first measurement I like to do is get the peep height. So I'm measuring from the center of the nock to where his peep is. In his case, he's 5 3/4. And this silly Sally's using one of these nose buttons, which I'd love to see how you use this thing when you got a mask on your face and it's 13 degrees out, but some guys use them. And in this case, Elliot's got one. So I'm gonna get a measurement of that, 3 3/8. So I've got the distance to the peep from the D-loop and then the distance from the D-loop to the kisser button. And I'm going to go ahead and remove this stuff. I'm gonna need this and I'm gonna need that anyhow. So I'm going to remove that. So I don't know how this happened, but the original set of strings went missing. And it took us almost a month to get them because here we are right coming up to bow season and gas bowstrings. They were able to drop one in there next day air. I hope you like it, Elliot. It's white so you can find your bow. So I've got pressure on the bow now. The first thing I'm gonna do is pull the actual string off. So there's a zillion videos out there doing such. You're literally gonna pull it off the post, follow the same track that it's on, and the string comes off. And I am not going to do anything to this string than safely put it away, just in the event my guy's out somewhere and has an issue. So without changing the configuration, taking twist out, putting twist in, you're just gonna pull it together. You can use a paper clip. You can use a zillion things to do. I got a paper clip sitting here, but what I like to do with it is get a piece of high vis so you can see it, come right through the string where the loops are that were just recently around those posts, like that, so you can see it. And I'll just make one figure-8 knot and barely cinch it down. So there his old set of strings that I'm gonna set right here. So I'm gonna get the new string. Looks like Christmas lights at first, but it's truly not that complicated. So this is the string. You'll know this, it's the longest one. Good minds think alike. High vis, that's where the peep sight goes. So I'm gonna take this string loose and we're gonna rail this bad boy back up. Again, starting with the string. And now I have a paper clip I can use as I begin to take the other ones off. So peep sights to the top, come all the way around the cam, same configuration, up through, back to the post, snap that on there, and then follow the string around. The string's gonna have a bunch of kinks and stuff in it because it just was wadded up in a plastic bag. I'm not concerned with that as much as I am not putting twist in or out of this string. When they come out of the package, they're already pre-twisted. So most of the time they're close. And what will tell the story is when I put it on the drawboard, whether or not the bow's timed. So that quick, lined up over the stop, peep sight is remotely close. All right, so the string is on. We're gonna take a little pressure off of it just so it tightens that string up a little bit where I can still get everything else off. Now I'm gonna work on the yokes and then the bus cable. So now I have the roller guide out to where I can get to the actual cables. So because the yoke cable is on top, I'm going to take that out first because it requires me to pull the axle out of the cam. So I'm going to work on that first. In doing so, I need to make sure I get this off of here, which is for the drop away. And this is the only time I think fingernails are required for a man when you're messing with stuff like this. Because I don't have any, so I got to get out the old pliers, get a grip on that string. And then that half hitch is loose and we're cooking with grease. That'll pop right through the string. So now the drop away is loose. So that cable is completely free and we are going to work on removing the yoke cable. This bad boy comes in handy. Got those little tight spots, pop it right out of there. So down. All right, so I've got the axle loosened up. I'm gonna push it out so I can remove the cam. This actually is pretty slick how they did this. Here's the yoke cable right here. Make sure they're the same. I honestly don't know on these Mathews, so I'm gonna confirm it. If I put it all together and realize I can't time it out. Easy one to figure out. Bang, bang. It is exactly the same. So there's a little loop that goes around the actual little yoke. All right, so I got that. Match this string up. I just got the top cam back on. I'm gonna put the screw back in the axle, and we're going to the other side. This is the last yoke and the last cable. Once it's all railed up, I can make twist easy. It's getting all the components back on it. It's a little tricky. And then this cam comes out. Pop that axle right out. Don't lose that. Cam 2 activated. So as you take pressure off, you got to make sure everything is riding. Make sure everything is where it's supposed to be. All the screws and bolts are back where they go. Everything's seated on the post, riding correctly. Nope, I just noticed where I was over top of the bottom of that. There it is again, right here. So when I backed it off, I just missed it. Something like that cause you a problem. We got no problems. And it's a whole lot easier to see once you get it out of the press. She's all strung up, looking fine. That is a cool color, that white against the black. I'm gonna dub this bow Michael Jackson for Elliot. But lastly, I gotta put a D-loop on it, and I'm gonna double check everything one more time. I've gotta put this in here in the down cable. I gotta split the string and get the drop away put in here. There's a zillion ways to do it. This is how I do it. I like to have, especially in this case with these gas strings, they've made it easy. They've served it down right to the point where this thing's gonna go. So you don't have to serve above it. I will serve below it, but when you put pressure on this bow and you draw it, that string will come up, not down. There it is. Take a little pressure off of it, pull it right where she goes. That'll be her final resting point right there. And then I can tighten that up as I go. Putting the roller guide back together, that's a must have, or that string will jump right out of there. All right, we're going out of the press. Now we're in the bow vise. I like these October mountains, they're slick. So I'll get this bow all leveled up. Gonna put a black D-loop on it. In making this D-loop, the trick is really flaring those ends out when you melt them, so it really bites down on itself. Take your time in making that ball. Try not to catch it on fire, but seemingly that's all I do. Make it a nice ball. Make sure to melt the whole entire top part of the string. Look at that, that's a beautiful ball right there. It's beautiful. It's probably the hardest thing I gotta do. I always struggle with this because I'm handicapped. I'm missing that fingertip, so I struggle getting this thing through there. Now I've got the D-loop started. We're gonna level this thing up. Would you look at that, I almost nailed it. Level it both ways. Now, we are going to get the old trusty arrow, set this D-loop correct. Some guys go from the top down, some guys go from the bottom up. It just depends what mood I'm in. Today, I'm going from the top down. So that to me appears knock level. That's where we'll start, and we'll check. Whew. It is a touch knock low. There's level. That's our starting point. All right, so we got the D-loop installed. So now I can put it on the press, and now we're gonna time this drop away. All right, so the bow's been completely restrung. So what I'm gonna do now is check timing, and to do so, you wanna look on the cams. Some bows have string stops, some bows have limb stops. Either way, that checks. We're checking cam rotation to make sure it is timed properly. And in this case, I already checked. This one is. As I come right to the last bit, I'm 3/16 and coming tight, I begin to touch. So this bow is timed out properly. Now we're gonna set the drop away. You can see the drop away is a little backed off. I'm gonna let some pressure off of it. I'm gonna actually tighten this a little bit and begin to find where that drop away should sit. When I tie it in, you wanna start right at the bottom of the handle on the actual cord. And it's nice because I got this drawboard. I'm able to manipulate this thing to where I can get it perfect. So as it comes to full draw, you'll see the string begin to tighten. On these QADs, there's actual timing marks, and you want that thing to advance where it's just past it. So I'm a little tight. I'm gonna back it off a hair. We should be pretty close. Now another thing too that you'll find when you put it through paper, that really tells the true story as to if you have contact with that drop away upon release. So I don't get too serious until I put it through the paper. So now I should be right. I'm 2/3 of the way through the draw cycle. I'm about 1 inch from where my stopping point is, and I just lined up on my timing as long as when you're cranking it, it's not pulling down on the control cable, as long as it's pulling on the actual rest. So this one's timed out perfectly. She's good to go. This bow is ready to sling some arrows, but we're not gonna sling arrows because Elliot's not here and I have not tied the peep in until I get him here. So this bow for Elliot's ready to go, other than those final touches that we do here in the shop with my boy Elliot.